I reckon this side, a bit worried about in defence, but I reckon this side could get to the semi-finals, especially with that front three. All you need is half an opportunity with that front three, and it's goals. What is the best team not going to the Qatar 2022 World Cup? The Qatar World Cup is just around the corner, and I mean just around the corner. It starts on the 20th of November this year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing some good football. But we do need to talk about the best teams not going to the World Cup. And can we make an even better team by picking some of their players? Of course, the Italians, and who are the European champions.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Are the most notable of the sides, but we also then have the Egyptians, the Colombians, the Ukrainians, the Chileans, and of course the Norwegians not going to this World Cup. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a starting 11 using a maximum of 2 players per nation, and we are going to make ourselves a team. So we'll start ourselves off in goal, and we're going to use one of our Italian players quite quickly, and that is going to be Gianluigi Donnarumma. I could not think of a goalkeeper anywhere near the level of Gianluigi Donnarumma to put in goal, and it seemed like a straight up choice. It was a straight up shootout really between Claudio Bravo and Gianluigi Donnarumma, and if Bravo isn't good enough for Pep Guardiola, most certainly isn't good enough to beat Gianluigi Donnarumma in this team. Left back then, we are going to move on, and again there was another option for Italians, and there always is with every one of these positions. I'm going to stop saying that now. The options were between Spinazzola, Zinchenko. I've gone with Zinchenko to save ourselves with Italians a little bit further down the line. Zinchenko has started his life in London brilliantly, obviously being a massive factor in that Arsenal team that is putting Manchester City under the cosh a little bit and causing them a few problems at the top of the league and really pushing on. So it seemed like a no-brainer there for me. We move on to the centre halves, and we have the options of Davinson Sanchez, Bastoni, Chiellini, Bonucci, and of course Victor Lindelof of Manchester United as well. Out of those, I am going to use my second Italian, and I'm going to go with Leonardo Bonucci. He is very much one of the best defenders in the world, despite still coming towards the end of his career. The reason I've gone with him as well is I think you need that experience, because the person I'm partnering him with is actually Victor Lindelof.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
And hopefully that can calm Victor Lindelof down a little bit and maybe make him into the player that we've seen at times, but we maybe haven't seen as much in a Manchester United shirt recently. So Victor Lindelof will be our first Swedish player and our only Swedish player in this team, which might give you a hint of where we're going with this team. Right back then, we are going to move all the way over to South America, and we're going to go with Juan Cuadrado. We're going to get ourselves a 5-star skiller.
Does World Peace have 5-star, 5-star? That's all I'm saying, man.
And he's most certainly a player who can get up and down that right-hand side. Juan Cuadrado has played for Fiorentina, he's played for Juventus, and he's played for Chelsea as well, briefly. I'm not sure many people will remember that, though. It wasn't really a spell that lit the world on fire, to say the least. But he's definitely a consistent right-back / right-wing-back / right midfielder, and he's going into our side to complete our defence and our 4 at the back. We're going to go with 3 across midfield as well then, and we're going to pick a central midfielder, a CDM, and a central attacking midfielder. We'll start off with our CDM, and we're going to move over to Africa, move over to the continent of Africa, and we are going to pick Wilfred Ndidi of Leicester City. Will he get into this team? Ndidi will. He most certainly will. He's a fantastic player, and for the defensive midfielders that I could think of course you could put any of those Italian players. If you wanted to put Verratti as sort of a Jorginho himself type defensive midfielder, but there's also Aranguiz, El Neni, Ndidi, Tonali are the ones that I can really think of. But I think Ndidi, in terms of overall play at the minute, I'm sure Tonali will overtake him soon. I think Ndidi is the better player, and of course we've used both our Italian players already in this team. Ndidi, consistent for Leicester City, and is one of the reasons that Leicester have done so well over the previous years. Next up is our central midfielder, and again you've got a lot of Italians in that midfield. I'm sure you could put Arturo Vidal in there as well from Chile, who also aren't going to this World Cup. But I'm going to go with a player who's been rejuvenated under Frank Lampard at Everton, and we're going to go with Alex Iwobi. I've been impressed with him this season, and since he's moved inside, he's looked a lot more confident. Maybe he just needed to be in the middle of the field to be involved a little bit more, and that seems to be the case. That really does seem to be the case for Alex Iwobi. He actually looks like JJ Okocha's nephew now as well, which is even better for him considering he actually is JJ Okocha's nephew. Our attacking midfielder, then we're going to move over to Norway, and there was absolutely no way that they were going to the World Cup this year. Unfortunately, despite them having some great talent in Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard and a couple of others further down as well, they didn't manage to get there. And we're going to go with Arsenal captain Martin Ødegaard. Martin Ødegaard is so young to be a captain, and honestly, he's really sort of stepping up to the plate as well this season. A great player, starting to get goals and assist contributions as well, and it's a shame he won't be there at the World Cup. Moving on to our front three, and you might have had an indication earlier on of who I was going to put in my front three, but we're going to start off, and we're going to go on the left-hand side, and we're going to go over to Colombia, and we're going to go for a player who is actually injured as well in this World Cup, and happens to be that his nation also isn't there. But we're going to go with Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is a fantastic dribbler on the ball. A little bit of a showboat, depends if you like that. Personally, I'm like, keep it to a minimum. But his dribbling is fantastic, and when he really goes back to basics and slows the play down, he can be absolutely fantastic, and he's got a bit of a rocket of a shot on him as well. I'm still not 100% convinced on him. I'm not sure whether he'll be a Sadio Mane replacement, but that's just me. I'm just sat in a room talking to a camera. And then on the right hand side, we have got our Egyptian king, of course, the first name on the team sheet, Mohamed Salah. Had to be in this team, and unfortunately for Mohamed Salah, he's not backed by a better team, because he definitely could fire a decent team a long way in this tournament. But Mohamed Salah isn't going. He needs no introduction. He's got 7 or 8 goals already in the Champions League this season. Maybe had a bit of a slower start in the Prem, but still showing that he is a fantastic player. And when called upon as well, he does put the goals in the back of the net. The final player, our striker from Norway, Erling Haaland. We know what the talent of this man is, and part of the reason why I decided to do this video, but he's absolutely fantastic, and he's a bit of a monster, isn't he, really, up front for Manchester City. We've always said, Manchester City, get a good striker, they will score for fun, and they've just happened to pick possibly the best striker on the planet right now, Erling Haaland. Would anyone stop him, particularly in this side? No one would stop him. It would be a fantastic team to have set up. Let us know though, guys, who would you pick? There are lots of options. There are a few honourable mentions as well. Of course, we've got Algeria's Riyad Mahrez, who therefore doesn't make that side, and Mahrez is a huge player not to pick and put in there. You've got the likes of Victor Osimhen, Kulusevski, Isak, Zlatan, so many players who aren't going to the World Cup and potentially could be. Let us know your starting 11 though, if you had to choose from those nations, and let us know as well what you think to mine. How far do you reckon they could get? I reckon this side, with a bit of training, of course, couldn't just chuck them in all in one go, but with a bit of training, I reckon this side, I'm a bit worried about Lindelof in defence, but I reckon this side could get to the semi-finals. That's what I'm saying. I think it could get to the semi-finals, especially with that front three. All you need is half an opportunity with that front three, and it's goals. It most certainly will be. But thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, do be sure to smash that like button for us, and do hit subscribe as well. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe. Cheers!